I'm super excited because we're going on some garden tours and I'm bringing you along with me.
So my first stop of the day was to go to one of the garden sponsors, Wild Birds Unlimited. So this store is really cool and there's several across the US. Just see if you have one of your area. While I was in picking up my lanyard for the garden tour, I went ahead and picked up a few presents for Mother's Day. It's a really great store to get some goodies for yourself or those people in your life that love birding. I love the products they had. This is Bayless Farm. It's a co-op and it's about 2.3 acres right here in urban Memphis. Really cool. Friends and family have come together to grow and harvest together and work towards just an incredible project, something that they can all benefit from. I've actually visited Greenmont Garden a couple times and I was happy to be back and see his roses in bloom. It's super pretty back here in this yard. I really love garden tours because you can see what other people are doing in their yards. And if it's a first time gardening thing for you, you're not sure where to start, what you want it to look like, going and having conversations and even just seeing what people are growing and how they're growing it really gives you a good perspective for your own garden.
That's what I do. I just was thinking you got so many pots.
For example, I really love this yard. I really love how natural it feels with the mounds and the pieces of wood, some of the rocks she's found right there. I really love how natural it feels and the pathways are included with nature. You see a lot of the tree stumps, a lot of the mulching method, and I really love that. And so for me, I love that I can take a note and work towards that, towards my own garden one day. So this is Penny and Brad's area. Penny is a private chef and I really, really love their yard. They have packed in so much into such a small yet beautiful lot right here in Memphis. They have a lot of herbs, a lot of different products they can use right in their cooking. Look at this spiral. I fell in love with it. Something that I would probably recreate in my yard. The espalier technique, just exquisite pruning and different techniques that they've used to be able to have a literal food forest in their backyard. Here's another technique. They've even put in chickens. They've got a beehive in here. Really incredible use of space. So again, I encourage you, check and see if your area has these garden tours. They actually originated, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in Buffalo, New York. The organizer, Kim Holyock from Memphis, and the garden tours here has gone to New York and seen them and brought back so much knowledge and wisdom towards being able to do this for our city.
You're
I was hoping it would this year. We got a few blossoms on both the bushes, but then that killed it. So you think this is rain time?
Oh, I love the pollinator friendly sound.
I really loved the community art pieces and overall signage used in this yard. These are breathtaking. Definitely a future combo plant that I'll be putting in. And then when you walk into this backyard, you are just taken aback by the beauty and just peaceful nature that is this yard. Definitely a pond in my future and something very much like that. I love that I've been able to tour these gardens and literally dream about my own yard one day and how I want it to look. Even though I don't rent right now, I can definitely make that happen, and I already did a little bit. I was able to go and visit my friend in Covington who she and her husband had visited me previously, and I finally was able to come see their yard. I fell in love with their yard and how much they've actually put into their space. Hello goats, hello cuties. Look at these sweet peas. Over 6 feet tall, probably about 7 feet tall, and it just smells heavenly in here. An incredible use. And another pond that I really, really loved, and her little she shed. Again, I really love the natural pathway use and textures, and I'll really aim for that when I actually get my own home. And I love that she has her chickens under a covered area. This is really helpful, especially if you live in a hotter climate like the South. Next up was Spirit Hill Maple Nursery, and wow, this spot was really cool because this is a husband and wife duo. All they grow are maple trees. So they actually import the roots and then they have their own grafts. These are all the varieties they offer currently, and they're slowly growing their collection. They have these tiny little grow bags, and then you can see how they're grafting them onto the rootstocks. Here's a bunch of year-old babies. And then they have bigger ones that are ready for sale right back behind there. Overall, a really cool workspace and something that a lot of us don't normally get to see in terms of an operation that's graphic.
Hi, Kiki. Oh, hi, Kiki.
And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes on the garden tours you might be wandering down driveways and that lanyard really is your ticket into that person's yard. So just FYI. But this was a really fun yard. I really loved how close it was to North Memphis. Right in the woods. They were using solar. They had honeybees. It was just a beautiful woodsy oasis.
We produce and we distribute to the community. So we're doing a distribution today in Boxtown. We give away free gardens. It's February.
I really loved Everbloom Pharmacy's setup because their mission is to educate the public and the community and give free resources, free seeds, free plants, free classes, the whole 9 yards. So there's no limitations when it comes to learning about gardening and sustainability and actually being able to feed yourself. I just love these hell strips turned hello strips. They are always so fun, and honestly, the cities usually don't mind. I mean, if utilities need to come by, they'll deal with it, and we'll deal with it as gardeners. But honestly, I've been having my hello strip for almost 4 years now and had no issues. I really love these areas of rock paths. I just really appreciate the more natural textures when it comes to gardening, and this is something I'll strive for in my yard. And I mean, come on, who doesn't love a good brick path? Oh my gosh, they're so yummy. This was definitely one of those natural yards I really, really loved. You can see these kind of more carpeted areas of green. That is climbing time. Wow. You can walk right on it. She was saying that it comes back year after year. Again, we're zone 8A right here. Definitely something I'm going to add to my yard when I have one. I remember back in like 2019, my friend Kayla used to live just down the block from this garden when it first started out right here in Huey's Midtown off Madison. Wow, it has come so far. It's so exquisite, so beautifully managed by some really amazing humans. And the fencing, wow, I just reminded myself I need to drive back by when it's nighttime because they said they have those super pretty string lights up all around the fence. And I just love the fact that right down in Cooper Young, Memphis, Tennessee, we have a community garden right by a piercing tattoo shop, and then also Huey's Midtown, a couple different spots that people high-rise live in. This compost situation is the goal. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. Laura, my new friend, and I, we were talking about how much more aeration you will get because of how much more fencing they put on there that's metal instead of just straight wood pallets. really appreciate that. Can we just talk about this sea of Lenten roses? Like, wow, this was so beautiful to see in person. So I don't ever wish any tree to fall down, but if I did, I'd want it to look like this afterwards. So I learned something about the plant comfrey. You should never plant any other varieties except Bocking 14. I learned that from my friend Laura. All the other varieties are going to spread and take over your yard, so just be mindful. I completely fell head over heels in love, like madly in love with this yard and the way that this gardener, she chose to use bamboo that was repurposed. An amazing alternative to buying plant stakes. Let me just tell y'all, I'm using them for my tomatoes. I'm using them for a clementine tree. I'm using them for a cute little border. I'm using them to stake up my rattlesnake master. I mean, the list goes on. These were only a handful of the garden tours on the garden tours this year for Memphis, so I'll be sure to post the other ones when I get to it, and I hope you enjoy this. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.